Okay, so I have kept those machines. Okay, let me share the screen also. Okay, so yeah, yesterday we discussed about how to create a user. Okay. Firstly, we started with creating a virtual machine, and on top of that virtual machine, we installed one Active Directory domain service. Okay, an Active Directory domain service is basically a service that is used to store all the user related information, all the computer related information, all the group related information, and we can create some policies on our Active Directory domain service, and that policy will be enforced on all the client machines which are joined to that Active Directory. Okay, so Active Directory service is basically used for this purpose. Okay, user management, group management, and policy enforcing policy. Okay, we are achieving these from Active Directory domain service. So we created the Active Directory domain service with the name of lab.com. Okay, we took our reference name as lab.com. In organizations, if you are entering your organization, okay, if you are having like domain joining and taking the domain from the domain provider, that needs good amount of experience. Okay, like when you will be joining your organization with 2 years and 3 years of experience, no, they won't ask you to do that custom domain verification and do the whole setup from the scratch. Okay, the thing is like everything will be there in your organization. Like currently you are working in Cognizant has already domain purchased from the domain providers like GoDaddy or Hostinger. Okay, everything, the whole setup is done. They have the Active Directory domain service already taken. They have configured the domain. Everything is done. Okay, but for our learning purpose, we try to create our own domain with the name of lab.com. Okay, there we created a reference user also. We created a user with the name of Ramya. Similarly, we can create so many users. Okay, the step is same only. And next what we did is like we created a client machine. Okay, we can create a client machine like Windows 10 we can take, Windows 11 we can take. Okay, and next what we did, we tried to join our client machine to our Active Directories domain service. Okay, that step is very crucial, because until and unless your client machine is joined to your domain, okay, or you can say until and unless your system is joined to the Active Directory domain service, your system cannot be controlled from the AD. Okay, uh, uh, just for an example, if you take your personal laptop to your office, will you be able to access any resources, any company's resources? Or if you have your email ID and password, company's provided email ID and password, will you be able to log in into your own personal computer with the Cognizant's provided email ID? Will it happen? Anyone? Suppose I'm having my personal laptop and I took that laptop to Cognizant. Will I be able to access company's resources, or will I be able to log in into my?
No.
No, yeah, definitely. Why so? Because my personal laptop is not joined to Active Directory domain service. Okay, I need my personal laptop, or obviously I can't join, and my organization will not allow me to join my personal laptop. That's why they are giving their own laptop, and what they are doing is they are already joining my client machine to the Active Directory domain service, or you can say company's AD. Okay, so that's why I am able to log in. Or if suppose Ramya is having her laptop, company's laptop, will Aswani be able to log in into Ramya's laptop? Is it possible?
No, sir.
Not possible. I think it will be possible, no? You can just click on Windows L, you can click on other user, and Aswini will just provide her credential, and I think it should
Oh,
happen.
okay.
Have you
Okay,
tried this
that thing
system?
will be possible.
Sorry?
Is possible, sir, that thing.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, that is possible because our organization's computer is controlled by Active Directory. Okay, in that Active Directory, Ashwini's user account, Ramya's and yours and Sandhya's, everyone's user account will be created. Okay, so and all the systems, okay, provided to you people are joined to the Active Directory domain service. Okay, so if you log into Ashwini's system, or Ashwini tries to log in into your system, that is completely possible until and unless they have some restriction created in AD. Okay, that restriction obviously we can create. Okay, so for some system they will create some restriction. Okay, like mm, for director system, they won't allow anyone else to log in into the director system for security purpose, or there can be some other restrictions also created. Okay, so yeah, so we tried to implement the same thing yesterday. Okay, so just let me see where we actually. Okay, guys, we have just 10 days left and we have 16,000 credits left. Okay, if you people want, you can utilize this. Okay, try to create resources, try to practice more and more. Okay, we have resources left. You can divide the timings between four of you. Okay, like 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours in a day, and you people can practice. Okay, so yeah, this is the first virtual machine that we created with the name of Azure User 1. Okay, and yeah, Windows Server 2025 data center edition we took, and the size and everything is mentioned over here. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we install Active Directory. So what do you think? Yesterday we installed Active Directory domain service on this machine. Will that service be available today also? What do you think? Anyone? Yeah, obviously. Because we haven't uh, means we haven't stopped our virtual machine, we haven't deleted our virtual machine, so it should be available. Okay. So yeah, I created Windows Server 2025 edition. Okay, so we are getting some upgraded wallpapers and everything. Okay, so let's come to our server manager and see. Yeah, see, Active Directory domain service is already available. And if I go to, okay, if I go to tools, okay, and from here, if Active Directory domain service will be installed on this server manager, we will get these options. Okay, Active Directory users and computers, these options we will get. If this service won't be installed, if you click on that tools, then you won't be getting that Active Directory users and computers. Okay, so Active Directory users and computers only we can enroll new users, we can enroll or we can join new devices into this domain. Okay, so just okay, so there are two ways of going to Active Directory domain service. Either we can go to our server manager and then we can go to tools and Active Directory users and computers, or other way is we can simply click on Windows R and from here we can click on dsa.msc. Okay, and from here, yeah, see, we have our lab.com domain. Okay, it is there. Okay, similarly, for your organization also, there will be a domain with the name of cognizant.com. Okay, everything will be similar. No changes will be there. It's not that we are doing labs, so there will be some changes. Everything will be similar. Okay, just their setup, they might have created OUs. Okay, we can create OUs for like suppose for Hyderabad site we can create a OU. Okay, so that in Hyderabad site, if suppose we have 1000 users, so we can place all the Hyderabad site users in that Hyderabad OU. Okay, similarly for other location, for Delhi location we can create another OU. Okay, so that is done basically for management and auditing purpose. Okay, that is not a technical thing, that is just done for some analysis. If there is some cost analysis, or if suppose we have total in Cognizant, if we have 1 lakh users, okay, if we place all the 1 lakh users in one lab.com domain only, it will be very difficult to find the users. Okay, there might be some users with the same name also, so it's better to divide them based on the OUs and sites and everything. Okay, so those are done for analysis purpose only. Okay, so yeah, if suppose if we have to create an OU, so how we can create an OU? We just need to click on the our domain name. Our domain name is what? Lab.com. Okay, and we need to click on new and we can click on the organizational unit. Okay, and we can create organizational unit like Hyderabad. Okay, so we'll get an organizational unit like this. Okay, similarly we can create multiple organization unit like for Mumbai we can create another, for different regions we can create different organizational unit. If suppose in Hyderabad OU we want to create few users, so how do we create? We will just right click on the Hyderabad OU and we'll click on the new and user option. Okay, and from here we can create a user. Okay, like let's suppose today we'll create Ashwini. Okay, so full name, okay, it is fine, Ashwini. Okay, and we'll click on next. We'll give her some password. Obviously for login into her account, what does she need? She needs user account with the name of with the name with name of cognizant.com, and she needs a password. Okay, she needs these two to log in. Okay, so what we will be doing is, if suppose Ashwini is a new joinee, okay, she is just joining in the organization, and we are basically setting up an organization with the name of lad.com. Okay, so if she is joining our organization, we need to provide her credentials so that she can log in into our office system. So for that, what we need to provide her? Firstly, we need to provide her a user ID, and secondly we need to provide her a password. Okay, so we created a user account for her and we got user ID and password. Okay, so the this set of credential we just need to share with Ashwini and she will be able to log in into our company's laptop or company's computer. Okay, so now her user account is created. So how she will log in? We need a system. Okay, those DNS settings and everything, I will share it, I will show it today. Okay, why we need to change the DNS settings and how do we join a. Okay, for that purpose, let's delete that virtual machine. Okay, let's delete that virtual machine, otherwise you people won't get that understanding. Okay, I have created one client VM. Okay, so I will just delete this virtual machine and I will recreate it. Okay, this is getting deleted. So we need to create another virtual machines and okay, but we might be having some resources still left. Let me check. Yeah, these things are left. VMIP, client VMIP, these resources are still left. Okay, and we won't be getting a new IP. In free tier subscription, we will just get 2 to 3 public IPs only. Okay, so let's delete these.
You are on mute, sir.
Okay, okay. This is for okay, we have just one resource. This one we can delete. So the resources are deleted. So now let's create one client view. Okay, I'll go to okay, virtual machine skill set will take resource group. We can select the existing one and virtual machine name. Let's name it as client view. It will be easier for you people to understand. Reason, okay. Yesterday I was mentioning again and again that we should deploy the server and client. We should try to deploy the server like AD service and our client VM in the same region. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen is now if we deploy these two resources in different region, what problem we may face is while creation of virtual network. Okay, just let's try it out. Okay, if we are taking east US region, let's see what happens, and if we change the region, let's see what happens. Okay, if we go to networking. Okay, if we go to networking, we are getting the same virtual network which we use to deploy our server. Okay, AD service. Okay, if now let's change the region to something other than east west. Let's change this to west us too, and let's see what happens. Yeah, now see, we are getting a new virtual network. When new comes, it means you are getting a new virtual network. Okay, if we click on the drop down, also we are not getting the virtual network in which we have deployed the server. Okay, and why we need to place both our server and client in same virtual network? Because if you will, the thing is like we haven't studied networking yet, virtual networking yet. Okay, so I will just give you a basic overview, and when we step into our networking session, then these things will we will learn. Okay, so the thing is, if we create our resources, two resources in two different virtual networks, we there will be no communication. Okay, if suppose if we are creating a virtual machine, first virtual machine in east us region, and our second virtual machine in, not in region east, in virtual network 1, virtual machine 1 in virtual network 1, and it's VM2 in virtual network 2. Okay, if there are two different virtual machines in two different virtual networks, there will be no communication between them. Okay, when I say communication, they won't be able to communicate between them. Okay, and what I told you when I mentioned that we need to join our client machine to our server. If there is no communication between them, so how we will be able to join our machine, our client machine to our server manager? Okay, so that is why obviously there are methods to join two different virtual networks also. Okay, but that is a completely different thing. We can go for virtual network peering option. Okay, so we'll learn those in our networking section, but for now, just let us just stick to the same virtual network. Okay, so let's keep our region as east west only. Okay, so we'll go for this Windows 10 machine today. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll not take a server machine. We just want to avail this service, so we can go for Windows 10 machine. That is completely fine. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, networking is same only. We need to keep the networking same. Virtual network same for both our server and client system. Okay, okay. Let's see. It is okay. We need to make this as standard. Okay. Okay. You need to confirm this thing when you are making a client machine. Now, you should check on this box check box. Okay. Let's review and create it. So now, can someone tell me what is the next step that we need to follow? Like we have created a client machine. Now what we need to do? Anyone? Rameshri? You people are there or not? Hello.
There, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what we will do next? Okay. So what we will do next, guys? Anyone? Okay. Okay. So we need to join our client machine to our server. Okay. So that our client machine, when I say client machine, means the laptop provided to you gets controlled by your server. Okay. So for that, what we need to do? We need to join our machine to our Active Directory. Okay. So how we can join our machine? Okay, so let's take the RDP for this machine first. Yeah, see, our client machine, Windows 10 machine, we got the remote of our Windows 10 machine. Okay, so since this is a normal Windows 10 client machine, we won't be getting that server manager over here. Okay, so similarly, you are getting the machine na, in your own organization also. So the same thing is happening over here. Okay, so now what we need to do? We need to join our Windows 10 machine. So this is a Windows 10 machine. So see, similar interface we are getting now that you people get in your environment. So now what we need to do? We need to join this machine to the domain. Okay, so many things are coming up. Uh, mm, Okay. So we need to join this machine. So how do we join this machine? Firstly, we need to check the connectivity between both the machines. Okay. And how do we check the connectivity between two machines? If suppose Ramya is having one machine, Sushma is having one machine. And we need to check whether these two machines can send files or send data between them. So first thing is like we need to check connectivity. Okay, this is a networking thing. These things will be discussed in detail when we go into our networking section. For now, uh, but for now, since we need to check the connectivity, so how do we check that? We can check the connectivity using ping command. Okay, we'll go to our CMD, and in CMD we'll go to our okay, we need a public, not public, we need a private IP address to check the connectivity of the machine. Okay, if now I am in which machine? Can someone tell me? Rameshri, I am in which machine now? Everyone is sleeping or what? Okay,
Server.
now I'm in server. This is a client machine, no? See, this is a client machine I have created. Second machine which I have created is a client machine. When I say client machine, I need to join my client machine to my server. Okay, so this is a client machine, normal machine, Windows 10. Okay, if you want to check the configuration, you can check from here. You need to go to settings and system. Okay, or you can check it if it is not coming from here, you can simply go to File Explorer and you need to go to this PC and properties. Okay, so from here you can check. Okay, see, this is a which machine? It is not seen here. Yeah, see, this is a Windows 10 machine. Okay, normal machine. It is a normal machine. The machine which you people are using in your laptop. It is the same machine. Okay. So now we want to join this machine to our domain, to our cognizant.com domain. Okay, or lab.com domain. So how do we do that? So for doing that, we need to have connectivity between both the machines. Okay. And how to check the connectivity? We will have to rely on ping command. Okay, we will ping from the first, from the client machine, or we can do vice versa also. From the server machine we will ping to we will ping to which machine? We will ping to this client machine. Okay, so yeah, now we are in client machine, so we will be pinging to our server machine using the private IP address. Okay, internal communication, I am telling you, public IP address is used just for taking the RDP. Okay, other than that, for anything, for ping or for doing any troubleshooting or for doing any DNS changes, we require private IP address only. Okay, remember this point. Okay, don't get confused between public IP and private IP address. Okay, these things will come up when we go into our networking section, but just remember one point: public IP address is just for taking the RDP. Okay, if we have to check the connectivity, or if we have to check the whether our first VM is able to communicate with the second VM or not, we will rely only on private IP address. Okay, if we are on first VM, if we have to check the connectivity of the second VM, so which VM we will ping? We will ping the IP address of the second VM. Obviously we can't ping the same VM IP address. We'll ping the IP address of the second VM. Second VM. Okay, so now we are on, this is a client machine. Now we are on client machine, so we'll ping the IP address of the first machine or our server. Okay, so what was that? I forgot. Copy paste me not work. Okay, 10104. Okay, 10.1.0.4. Okay, okay, so see, it is pingable. Pingable means we have packets. Okay, what is this? What does this?